Hello, everybody. Hope you are doing well. Let me know how the audio sounds on here. Hopefully it's clear. Okay. Test. All right. So, I'm going to get this going as well. Make sure the stream is live. If you guys can hear me, let me know in the comments. Hello. Can you hear me okay? For whatever reason, I can't see the number of people in the stream. However, I should be able to check it this way, just to make sure we are live. Yep. Got it. Hey, Maria, how are you? Okay, audio is good. Perfect. So, I'm going to play you guys a little music as we wait for some people to pop in here. Hello to everybody that's hanging out. Hi, Maria. So, I'm going to play you guys a little tune. We're going to wait for some people to pop in, and then we're going to be doing a little bit of a song. Some of it is going to... This is a Marmara scale. And we're going to do something on the D Celtic, but this could be applied to a bunch of different other scales as well. So, here we go. Let me know how the audio sounds as I play this, okay? The audio sounds, guys. Okay, so that is the Marmara scale. So what I thought we could do today is talk about songwriting on a couple of different scales. I really prefer to write on scales that have a half step between the first position and the second position. And there's a whole bunch of reasons why I prefer this. And you will see in a moment why that is. So if you're looking at your instrument, and you may know this if you're a music person. Good, I'm glad the audio is fantastic. And that song as well is called Lux Natura, and it's on my album Lux Natura, which is on Spotify, iTunes, all of that. If you just look for Rewild Your Soul, it'll pop up. So in terms of writing a song, I'm going to be running a 3-week songwriters workshop. There's a post about it actually on Rav's page if you go to one of their most recent videos. And this is going to help people to start from either no song or start from an idea that they have and move forward into creating something that they can repeat, they have written down, they can play again. It's going to allow people to really grow as players. So I highly recommend it to people that are looking for the ability to write their first song. If you're already a student of mine, then it's a great place to start and kind of get used to how I do things. But if you're looking to write your own song, this would be a great opportunity for you, and you can just look for 3-week Songwriters Workshop. It's in Rav's most recent video list. Also, it's on my page, Rewild Your Soul. And I can put the link in the description as well for signing up for that. But anyway, so in this class, we're going to be talking about how when we're looking at a Rav, or a Rav moon for that matter, we can think about the bottom 3 notes here, and sometimes the 4th note, depending on which scale it is, as our home base. So if you have a scale, say like a Celtic, which I'm going to grab in a minute, your Celtic, your home base really goes from here up to here on the Celtic, so up to your 3rd note. And you can tell what note's the important note for you by finding which one is the octave note. So on this one, this is an A Marmara. So I know that on here, the 4, this is the 4th note, 1, 2, 3, 4. This 4th note is the one that's going to be really important for people. I think of these bottom notes as our progression for the scale. And you can play any handpan this way, any Rav this way, and be able to actually feel like you're playing something. So listen what happens when I just play a simple melody on the top. 8, 7, 6, 5. Right? I'm not doing very much, I'm just doing this with my right hand. Depending on what notes I add in on the bottom, it's going to change the feeling of the chord that we're using. So if I start with the center notes, and then move to the 1, and then move to the 2, changing a lower root note changes the feeling of what's happening on the top. My right hand's not doing anything different. All I'm doing is changing where my left hand is going, and I'm hitting my left at the same time as the right on the first strike. The reason this works is every Rav scale is kind of chopped in half in a way. And you can think of all of the movements up until your octave note. So again, the Marmara, it's on the 4. On the Celtic, it's the 3. On the Integral, I believe it's the 4 or the 5. You can think about that as the point where your chord progression kind of ends, and then it repeats after that. Yeah, absolutely. If you go on my Rewild Your Soul page, REWILDYOURSOUL, I have tons of free tutorials on there. I also have a lot of free lessons on Rav's page as well. You can also check out my website. It has a bunch of videos on it, rewildyoursoulmusic.com. And I do lessons and all of that. But this will hopefully help you, and I'm going to have a little tab on the screen in a second to show you. But if you pick 4 notes, 8, 7, 6, 5, and you hit that with the right hand. And then you say my left hand's job is going to be to hit just on the first strike. So if I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4. If I hit my left hand on the 1, and I'm hitting it in this note here, so I'm doing center in 8, 7, 6, 5, center in 8, 7, 6, 5. Now I can change where my left hand is and keep doing the same thing with my right. 8 and 1, 7, 6, 5, 8 and 1, 7, 6, 5. Same thing with the 2, 2 and 8, 2 and 8, 7, 6, 5, 2 and 8, 7, 6, 5. Same thing with the 3, 3 and 8, 7, 6, 5, 3 and 8, 7, 6, whoever's in here right now, let me know who or how many different scales we have. So what scales do you have? Put them in the comments and I'll try to play this piece on your scales as well. Just to give you a visual too, let me show you facing me. Again, Marmara is a very different scale than other ones. Isn't this finish amazing? I love this finish. It's the golden color. Marmara, our root notes end on the fourth note. So on here it's right there. If we were playing something like, let's say the Celtic, right? This is the D Celtic. Hey. So on the Celtic, our root note is on the 3. So if you look at the bottom of your instrument and you count up 1, 2, 3, right? Walking up 3, we know that that's the same note. Ah, yes, the Hejaz, fun. Elo Pygmy, okay, good. I will play what we're going to do today on all of those scales so you can see it, okay? If you want as well, you can send me an email on my website, rewildyoursoulmusic.com, and I can send you the tab that we're going to do today as well. But it'll be pretty simple for everybody. So when we're looking at this, if I were to play that same little piece on the D Celtic, and I'll show you guys that, let me change it. Then I'll try it on the integral and the Hejaz and all of that. So same piece again. So I'm doing 8, 7, 6, 5 with my right hand. Top note, this note, this note, this note. Okay? Hi, SK, how's it going? So, and my left hand again is doing, just on the first beat, if we're counting to 4, I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4. So, center and 8, 7, 6, 5. 1 and 8. 1 and 8, 7, 6, 5. 2 and 8, 7, 6, 5. 2 and 8, 7, 6, 5. 3 and 8, 7, 6, 5. Completely different sound on here, but we're making use of these bottom 3 notes, our root notes, to give it the feeling of that movement. Yeah, the Ariumi is a dangerously good scale. I agree. So let me grab an Elo Pygmy so I can try it for you, Zazia. Give me 1 second. I'll grab that. The Elo Pygmy is such a different scale than other ones. What drew you to that scale? What was your sort of interest in that particular one? So here's the Elo Pygmy. This is the Indigo generation, which probably most of you guys have one of these by now. And so on this one, again, I'm playing right hand up on the 8, right on 7, right on 6, right on 5. High notes in general sound better with your pointer finger. You can play them with your thumb and it's okay, but I find that I get a clearer sound if I'm using my pointer finger and flicking down. I'm not doing this motion, like I'm not raptoring, I'm not playing a percussion instrument. And I'll show you what my hands are doing right now. So I'm not doing this motion when I'm playing. People do this, it's okay, it's their thing. I recommend keeping your hands low to the ground if possible and flicking like this. And that's very useful. Yeah, thank you for coming. I'm glad you got to swing by. SK managed to stop by today and hang out for a little bit. Played some music. Appreciate you making the trek. So, especially on lower instruments. Oh, no, don't worry at all. I'm going to grab the Hejaz for you, actually, and play the same example that we're working on right now. So, let me change my view. So here it is on the Elo Pygmy, Zazia, if I said that username correctly. So 8, 7, 6, 5. My left is going to be playing on the first strike on the center, then on the 1, 2, and then 3. So 8, 7, 6, 5. Move to the 1, 1 and 8, 7, 6, 5. 1 and 8, 7, 6, 5. 2 and 8, 7, you're doing that too, because of the difference in intervals, this is going to change the feeling of what you're playing. Whenever you have an instrument with different bottom notes up until that octave, it's going to give you a different feeling. Even if the top half was the same as the scale you had, it's going to feel different having different lower notes. The pygmy in particular has such an interesting flavor because it has a different tension before it gets to the octave note here. Okay? Let me grab the Hejaz. Give me 1 second. I know a lot of people have purchased the Hejaz. I'm glad that it's been a popular scale so far for everybody. Grab that. Yes. All right, so in the Hejaz, also, anybody that's interested in lessons, I do one-on-one and group song-based lessons. So anytime you have a scale, you want to learn some music on it and also just learn to play, my lessons are song-based. So you learn a song, you learn a piece, and you actually get to improve your skills by doing that. So it's a really fun way of learning. And if you're interested in writing an entire piece, feel free to sign up for my 3-week songwriting class coming up in September 7th. And I can post that in this as well. So here's that same thing we're doing, 8, 7, 6, 5, right? With my right hand. And my left hand's gonna be playing just on the first beat, on the center, the 1, 2, and then 3. So here's what it sounds like on the Hejaz, just my right hand, 8, 7, 6, 5. And with the center an 8, 7, 6, 5. Center 8, 7, 6, 1 and 8. 2 and 8. And then 3 and 8 is going to resolve it. Thank you, Maria. I appreciate it. I know it's nice to see so many students and friends in the live stream too. So kind of sounds completely different on the Hejaz. Let me play a little faster so you can hear it that way. Hello, Malua. All right. Very different sound. It is a little spicier than other scales. So you're able to change the lower notes and kind of fit it into what you're wanting to say. But I would say that this one would use a different pattern and that would sound a little bit better. But let me play you a little something on this scale before I pull out a different one as well. So. It took me at least maybe like a year to really start to feel comfortable. Anybody that's in here, feel free to hit like as well and subscribe to this page and my Rewild Your Soul page as well. Yeah, the Hejaz is a really fun scale, and I have to say the moon is very clean. A lot of times instruments that have a lot of half steps, like these are all half steps, are kind of messy on a handpan sometimes, but super clear. Um, Interesting. Okay. Thank you for letting me know that, SK. I appreciate that. All right, I'm going to flip us around for 1 second. Okay. So that's a jazz scale. The other thing we can start to think about too is if we wanted to do a kind of simple movement. Yeah, the Hijaz Moon is a great scale. You chose well. If we wanted to do a simple tune that works on pretty much every single scale, one of the first things I teach people is a piece that I wrote a long time ago. And I find that it works well for people to get them started in where they're moving. And I'm going to give you a portion of it. If you're interested in continuing with this piece, I offer one-on-one lessons. You can learn from those. But this is a good way to get started, and it's a good way of knowing what the movement is on your scale. Usually starting from 3 position. So on the moon, that's here. On a Rav, it's the same position. That's a good place to start, and it's going to give you a little bit more. Good. Yeah, I think you can play and enjoy it at any amount of time. It took me about a year to feel comfortable really sharing it and posting a lot with it, but I started to play it in a week. So that's amazing. I think you can develop your skills however you want them. I think the trick for people too is to not think, I need to play a certain way, or I need to make sure that I'm doing this technique this way. The point of the instruments is that you get to discover how you play them. And it's kind of what I'm interested in when I'm teaching people. It's not teaching them to play like myself, but teaching them to find the way that they want to play their instrument. And the best way to do that is to learn a song and work on it and then make your own from it. So I highly recommend doing that. So let me show you on the D Celtic and then the D major, the little piece we're going to be working on. In Zaza, you may find this interesting as well. I'm going to scooch this over. So can everyone see in the corner, right where, this side? Right there? Can everyone see that what I'm pointing to right here? This is our tab for the instrument. So if you're playing, your center note is either your ding or your center, depending on what it is. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Some people have 9 notes on their instrument. And on a handpan, the center note's called a ding. On a Rav, it's a center note. You could call it a ding, but handpan people get kind of grumpy about calling that a ding. So maybe don't call it a ding. But it's the same concept. Ding is just a center note that has a raised apex, so it's kind of like a bump. On the Rav, those don't exist, so you can't really call it a ding. But so center note or ding, depending on how you call it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The trick for these, yeah, it's only halfway off the screen. Good. So the trick for these is that you're able to play anything on the same side. So if I were to play the 1, 3, 5, 7, I could play that, and that would be one big chord. If I played the other side altogether on a Celtic in particular, that's another big chord. It's the same sort of deal on the Ela Pygmy that you have, Zazia. The same thing on the Hijaz. So if I was playing the Ela Pygmy, let me show you what that looks like. So on this one, if I was playing all on one side, it's a chord, or any 2 notes next to each other are going to work. Because this is divided up in half like this, we can think about the instrument as really having us want to walk back and forth in this Z shape. So what I'm going to show you guys is this is just the first 10 minutes or so of a lesson I would do one-on-one with people. And we're going to start with our right thumbs. Some of my students in here have done something similar to this already, so I'll give you guys a little bit extra after I show this initial thing. But I'm doing right thumb on 3, left thumb on 4, right pointer on 5, left pointer on 6. And this position is how I always start new students off. We build off of this and do a ton more, but this is a really great place to start growing from. And then all we're going to do is change where our first strike is. So if I want to move and I want to change the root note, and remember our root notes are these center 1, 2, 3, and sometimes 4. I could do 3, 4, 5, 6, right, left. If I change it so that I'm doing 2, 4, 5, 6, I'm going to keep my right thumb as going first and do 2 with my right thumb, left, right, left, 2, 4, 5, 6. Yep. And then we'll do the same thing with the 1. 1. And we'll do the same thing with the center. So playing just this 1 second of music is something you can do to test out a scale. So whether you're using the virtual player or you're playing someone else's instrument, this can tell you how the instrument sounds, because you get to hear all of the root notes and you get to hear some of the higher notes and how they relate to these lower notes. So this is why I always teach this first to people. So let me show it to you on another scale. So say we're using the D Celtic, it's going to sound like this. So also, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them, and my friends at RAV will help ask those of me if I miss them. So this same movement sounds completely different on the D Celtic. It's the same pattern, but it's a different song. And that's kind of the fun of having a piece you can play, is you can move it over. You don't have to know the notes that you're playing, because the ravs and handpans are laid out in the same way. So you can transfer it over and over. Thank you so much. Let's hear it on the Ariumi, which is a very different scale, brand new. Oh, just kidding, this is the Marmara. So listen to how different it sounds. And again, that's just making use of these bottom notes here. The other thing you can do is, say you're playing on the, let's grab another instrument. Say I was playing on this guy over here. Anybody that's in here, there's a lot more people than have said their scale, so let me know what scales you guys have. Thank you so much, SK, appreciate it. Let me know what other scales you guys have. I know 4 or 5 of you have written in here, but some people that haven't, I think there's 62 people watching. So if you have a scale and you haven't told me, then let me know and I'll try to pull it out for you. So if we're using that same structure, we can walk up even on a really intense and spicy scale like the Anolio and make it feel like it's something, because all handpans and ravs follow similar patterns. So listen to how this sounds on the Anolio. Here's the 2. And here's the 1. And here's the center. D Celtic, nice. Okay, I will grab the universal for you. But see, it works even on here because it's making use of these lower notes and walking down. So, completely different scale, still works. Play it on a couple other ones for you. Maybe I'll grab the universal so you can hear it on there. So here's the universal. All right, and I know you have the D major, and I'll grab that one too. So this is the same pattern on this scale. I don't need to know the notes, just the position. So we have an interesting thing that we can do with all of these. Any piece you write and you remember, and I recommend writing them down and tabbing it kind of like I did right here. And this allows you to work on them and chop them up and sort of create something new out of them. If you can repeat something, you can refine your skills. So if every time I sat down, I do. I have all the RAV scales. So anytime you are able to write something down and repeat it, you can get better at it. If every time you sit down and play, you make it up, it's fun. You can still get better, but you can really speed up how fast you grow and how fast your skills improve just by being able to repeat something. So highly recommend doing that. Again, if anybody's in here and they're interested in the 3-week songwriting course online that I'm doing, starts September 7th, and all the details for that will be below, or you can just message me, Rewild Your Soul, on Instagram, or rewildyoursoulmusic.com as well. So let me grab the card for you. What I would like to do as well is show you an entire piece, and I'm going to play it across multiple instruments for you so you can hear that. I'll trip first. Here's the card. Okay. Here is that same tune on a card. Change my view one more. Being attacked by Ravs now here. There we go. Okay. There we go. So, this is the same thing on a curd. Also a great scale. SK has one of these. Same thing, the relationship is different between the 3 bottom notes because of the half step. I actually love this phrasing on a chord. The other thing that's funny is that you're able to use this phrase on everything because it always ends on the center, and the center is the resolving notes. And you've probably noticed this in your own playing. If you're playing and you feel like you can't find a place where to stop, then landing here on the center or landing on the notes the same as the center, which is the 4 on the curd, is going to feel like you closed off a phrase. So if I was writing, imagine I was just playing, and I stopped on a side that's not the same side as the octave. And again, for the curd, this is your resolving side here, okay? They probably do want a hug. I'll give them... It's possible. So listen to what happens if I don't resolve it on the side that my octave is on. So again, B, B, F sharp, right here, right? So if I land over here, it feels like I want to go somewhere else after that. And that's because I'm not resolving what's happening. So listen what happens if I land over here. Now it sounds closed. So this 1 and 4 is our closed position for this scale. Also the 4 and the 8, because the 1 and the 8 are the same thing. In the center and 4. So for writing this out, I would say just do it on a Zoom whiteboard. That's an easy way to do it. You can also just write it out by hand if you wanted to, or type it out. All I'm really doing is doing a line of numbers using the system that I'm showing right here. And I'm taking that line of numbers and I'm putting it moving down. Wow, this is surprisingly difficult to do. Whoa, there we go. So here I'm putting the numbers I'm using and then how many times I'm doing it in one straight line. And I could use image generation, whatever you wanted to do to make the circles or whatever, but even just Microsoft Word, it works fine. You could do it on Microsoft Paint if you wanted to, but Notepad, you could use Excel even. A lot of the Google whiteboards are also very similar to Zoom, so I try that on there. Eventually, I think I might do a class eventually on how to tab out your songs as a Friday lesson for you guys, so that's coming up. So I want to play you guys a piece across maybe 7 instruments. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm just going to play two movements of it, and I want you to hear how that changes depending on the scale. So I'm not looking for notes. I'm just aware of the pattern that I'm playing and where it is, and I'm able to take one song and turn it into 5 different songs. So listen to this. So I'm going to go. This song is Ouroboros, which was on my last album, Wild Spaces, by Rewild Your Soul. I agree. Well, I'm trying to factor in the above camera view. If it was straight ahead, I could do it, but. So this is the B chord, this is Ouroboros. So if I were to take the same exact pattern, I'm not going to change anything about it. The only thing I'm going to have to be aware of, if it's an instrument that has the octave on the left side, I can play it exactly as it is. If the octave's on the right side, like the Celtic, I have to shift my hands over here. So you'll see what I mean in a moment. So pick me a scale to try this on: the Elo Pygmy, the B Rus, D Celtic, Marmara, Ariumi, or Hijaz. Pick one of those, and whoever writes it first in the comments, I'll play that one. So I've already played it on the chord, so we're not going to do it on the chord now. If you're interested in learning this whole song as well, Ouroboros, I teach this in my lessons a lot, so I'd love to teach you in my one-on-one song-based classes. So let's see, whoever writes it first, I will take your suggestion here. Ariumi, deal. Okay. And then whoever it's second, I'll write it after. I'll play it after that. So here's the Ariumi. So if I were to play it on this scale, same pattern. I'm not going to change anything about it, except for this has the octave note here. So I'm going to orient it on this side. And then very different sound on the Ariumi, but it's still a song and it still works. So what is your second request for a scale? Low Pygmy, Celtic, what are you guys feeling? You are a fast typer, Zazia. I'm impressed. If I don't get a request, I will probably do it on the Low Pygmy first. So here's the Low Pygmy version, since I'm a little bit ahead of you guys. So here we go on this one. Deal. very different sound. Oh yeah, I can do the G picking, sure. So that is that one. Let me find the G pygmy real quick. I just can't play the old one that I have near me, so I have to find the new version of the G pygmy quickly. Nope. Well, this is gonna have to be a G432 because I don't know where their pygmy is hiding at the moment, and I can't use the old gem on the stream. So okay. So this is the G pygmy. That's okay. I have the old G pygmy behind me, but can't use it. Okay, I'm gonna do two more, and then any final questions you guys have, let me know. If you want to get this tab, or if you're interested in one-on-one Zoom lessons, I work with people all over the world. I teach full-time and perform full-time, so I can definitely find space for you. And you get to learn songs, and you get to be a better player and figure out how you want to sound, so it's fun. So I'm going to do the Hijaz as an example, using that same song, and maybe the Marmara, so you can hear how different those are. Any last minute questions, again, write them in the chat, and I'll try to get to them before we end the stream. And I have my last lesson of the night at 8 o'clock. I can highly, highly recommend the new generations of Rav, the Indigo generation, and also the gold ones. They sound fantastic. So if you're on the fence about getting one, I would highly recommend making the jump. So for my Hijaz friend that's in here, super fun instrument. I also think it's really cool on the moons, they have shoulder tones. You hear that higher pitch noise? It's a shoulder. It's one of the harmonics on here, but it's kind of like a hand pan. When you hit a hand pan, you get that sort of higher pitch sound in the shoulder. So, all right, I'm going to demo this on one other instrument for you, and then we're going to finish up. Any last minute questions, let me know. Thank you for all the people showing up for these. This has been great to do such big streams. And I'd love to help you guys write a song in the Songwriters Workshop I'm doing in a couple more weeks. So if you're interested in that, you should sign up soon. All right. And thank you to all my students that are in here and friends that are in here. I'm very grateful for all you guys. Makes my life teaching a lot more fun. I know so many people. So again, this is the Marmara. I'll give you one more example on here, and then I'll play you one last full tune, and we'll get out of here. So, Any last minute requests, let me know as I play this tune. So. Okay. So, let me see. Chat-wise here. All right. Any last minute questions, my friends, before I finish up? Absolutely, yeah. My pleasure. I think I'm going to play you guys one quick tune before we go. I haven't decided on what yet. How about I do one on the chord scale? Sound good? So here's a tune to say goodbye on the chord scale. Thank you guys for hanging out. Join me next week. We're going to have to move the day probably because I have a big show Friday. And if anyone's in the New England area, I'm playing in Milford, Connecticut at Spirit Voices, which is a handpan and rav class. So, oh, that's a good question. Let me play that as my last thing. SK. I'm going to grab that. Hold on. That's a very good question. Very funky is the answer. So, that is a great question. And it's going to sound very weird is the answer. Okay, so this is it on the C blues, just because you suggested SK. Sounds pretty cool, actually. Pretty interesting, actually. I kind of like it on here. That's funny. C blues is a great scale, just very different and a very different approach for it to really capture the flavor of it. So, all right, my friends, hope everyone has a lovely night. Thank you for hanging out. And if you're interested in one-on-one Zoom lessons, I teach people all times a day, all over the place. So, and I'd love to work together. I agree, SK, it is pretty amazing on here. So I may end up using it actually because I kind of like the sound of it on the C blues. So if you guys are in the New England area too, I'm playing at Spirit Voices. There's going to be 4 handpan players there, including myself. That's going to be a huge concert. It's going to be amazing. And SK is coming. It's in Milford, Connecticut. And the stream next week is probably going to be on Thursday. I will confirm that and we'll get that posted. So we appreciate you and thank you guys. It was really fun to hang out with you. Hope everybody has a great night. And be sure to follow me on Rewild Your Soul on YouTube and Rewild Your Soul on Instagram as well. Thanks to Rav for hosting this as always. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye-bye. Everyone has a good night. You're amazing.